you so much. I think we can see why Omer is part of the team that won our inaugural Taft Award. He's been very clear and concise in his description of what UNDP is doing in Darfur. At this point, we have about 20 minutes or so for questions. And I would like to start off, Omer, with a question. You used the term, you explained how UNDP is working on building capacity of local institutions. Can you give us an example of how UNDP is doing that in Darfur?
Usually we think, as I have said, in the development initiatives or development activities, if the element of sustainability is not involved, that will be very risky and useless. So if the community could be involved through the committees or organizations formed democratically by the community themselves, and then that organizations, the capacity of that organization will be built through training by UNDP, and then gradually UNDP will use that organization for the implementation of the activities, and that will ensure the sustainability of the development initiatives.
How many people does UNDP have now in Darfur, and are you working at all with the World Food Program?
Yeah, I'm still working with UNDP in Darfur, and it's now, as we described, that it is mainly since 2004 to the moment, the investment of UNDP is in the area of rule of law and sexual gender-based violence, and recently we have started implementing these early recovery activities, but we think that this program of early recovery is a little bit underfunded, so we are seeking for more funds just to implement what we highlighted here as way forward. I hope I have answered it.
I was asking just how many people, not how much money.
How many people working in Darfur?
For UNDP.
For UNDP. UNDP has 3 offices in El Fasher, Niala, and Guinea, and it's not less than 100 staff.
And do you work with the World Food Program at all? Not really.
Pardon?
Do you work with the WFP, World Food Program?
No, working with UNDP.
No, does UNDP
have any cooperative work with WFP?
Not exactly. In the general coordination, yeah, for the implementation of the humanitarian activities, yes, but there is no direct coordination because there is no activity during the activities between UNDP and WFP.
UNDP is more focused on the early recovery things, whereas I believe, and maybe you can speak to this better, but WFP is clearly focused on the humanitarian needs.
Sometimes they work on emergency relief.
Right. You had a question? No. Okay. No. Can you talk a little bit about the gender-based violence programs that UNDP has in Darfur?
During the conflict and during the fighting, there is a lot of violations usually happen from the during fighting, either in the rural areas or around the camps or whatsoever. And to have UNDP have a program that supporting the victims by providing some legal support and providing the other needs in this area of sexual gender.
Skype is a wonderful thing, isn't it? It's the first time I've ever been in a meeting where somebody's computer has run. I'm sorry, gender-based violence.
That is in brief, because I'm not heavily involved in that program, but there is support provided to the victims in terms of legal support and whatsoever. That's important, sincerely.
I'm curious, in Darfur, is there private sector cooperation with UNDP in terms of the early recovery, in terms of I'm not sure necessarily job creation, but sort of different projects that can get the locals involved with, with in terms of income building and things like that? Is there, I don't know, is UNDP work with the private sector from the West or from other countries in terms of that, or?
Now, not exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But we hope that in the future we.
On an international level, UNDP does work with the private sector,
For sure.
and has actually a major program called the Growing Inclusive Markets Initiative,
Okay.
that you can maybe go online and learn a little bit more about. Clearly not at this point in Darfur. I don't know what the private sector looks like in Darfur at this point in time. Maybe you could speak a little bit about that.
Exactly, now there is no private sector even.
How freely is UNDP able to work in Darfur? Like, how safe is it for UNDP to travel about? Because I know travel is very difficult, as you described.
Security is for all, and UNDP, as the other organizations, as now the security level in Darfur is in level 4, which is, and everyone know what is level 4 means.
I'm not sure everybody does. Maybe you could describe that to the people.
Yeah, at level 4, that the UN is restricting the movement of the UN staff unless for the emergency movements. And in Darfur, it is the movement to the field now only with the aircrafts. There is no what we call it movement by vehicles to the rural areas or to whatsoever. So that's for all. And because of the nature of our work is now it's only in the IDP camps and in the big towns, so we have no much problems. But recently, the last car hijacked in Darfur was a UNDP vehicle, and you can imagine that. That's in the town of Jinena. That is the last car have been hijacked from inside the town. So you can imagine how the security, the situation is difficult for the staff even to move. It is inside the main capital of Darfur.
Are the UN staff specifically targeted, or is it more just anyone who happens to be in the wrong place could be attacked or robbed?
No, exactly. There is no target to UN staff, but there are some robberies who target the resources. They are targeting the vehicles because they take it and across the border to Libya or to Chad or to Seva to sell it. This is what we call them the war opportunists. But they are not targeting the UN staff.